Hi Cancer, welcome to your May 2021 Tarot Scope and welcome back to Saturn's Secrets. If you're interested in the full astrology video for all signs, it's linked below. It goes into the astrology of May 2021. So let's get into your tarot, Cancer, and see what we have for you. Ooh, Page of Wands, there will be news. There will be news in May that is significant. You're going to be hearing back on something or hearing about something. Maybe seeing an opportunity in terms of work, in terms of your hobbies, passions. Maybe for some people, this is news about things starting up again, particularly if you're interested in sport. Maybe it's to do with school, maybe it's to do with education, career. But some good news is coming in for you, Cancer. So that's something to look forward to. Let's have a little look and see what the cards have to say for you. The Taurus energy is really good for you. Most of this month is going to be prime time for manifestation, for socializing, for networking, catching up with friends, particularly around the new moon on the 11th of May. If you want to set intentions, that's a wonderful time to do it, Cancer. Now, with the Death card popping out, there is change. There is change for you. There is transformation. With the eclipse coming up in your 8th house of Sagittarius, your 6th house of Sagittarius, it's likely that you're going to be changing something in terms of work, in terms of the way you treat your body, the way you treat your health, the way you look after yourself, and the way you look after others as well with that 6th house eclipse. Oh my. Getting a lot of popping out. 6 of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. For a lot of you, there is or has been substantial support from an earth sign person, a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, maybe a Pisces. And I feel for a lot of you, when it comes to an earth sign, there seems to be quite a significant bond or connection that has an element of psychic energy to it, almost a telepathic vibe with this earth sign person. I'm also seeing for a lot of you, this could be a job that comes out of the blue, or this could be an opportunity or a friendship that comes out of the blue, something that comes out of the unseen, but it has this element of fate or meant to be, or there's something about this that just feels very when you just get somebody, when you just are able to have a conversation and you know exactly without saying too much. It's almost as if the best messages come in silence is something that I'm sort of getting for you. So if you're at a crossroads about career or about money or about friendship, it's almost like, Cancer, you're either getting this from an earth sign or those messages are coming from within. There is going to be some sort of intuitive message or intuitive bond with somebody that seems to be a significant point of May for you. But this is also a blending of the Taurus and Pisces energy in the sky around that new moon. It's going to be very beneficial for you, especially if you're manifesting something that requires a relational aspect to it. So maybe it's somebody contacting you about news to do with a project, a group, a goal, a friendship, something like that. There could be a lot of messages of friendship for you, Cancer. Now we have Justice underneath. So for many of you, you could be dealing with a Libra person. You could be dealing with a legal issue, a legal lawsuit for some of you, but for a lot of you, this looks like a contract to me, something to do with contracts. Now for you, there is going to be a positive support, Cancer, between the new moon and Pluto in your partnership zone. So perhaps some of you are talking about the next stage in your relationship. For others of you, you could be planning a wedding. You could be planning or signing legal documents this month that are significant in some capacity. So we have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the 3 of Pentacles. We have the 7 of Pentacles. We have the 8 of Pentacles. And we have the Sun. Gorgeous. Now the Sun actually came out for Gemini as their outcome as well. So you could have Gemini on your chart, of course, if you're a Cancer. But let's have a little look and see what this means, Cancer. So for a lot of you, this is very work, money related. Interesting. Okay. So instantly there seems to be growth. There seems to be a lot of growth. Something is suddenly getting exactly what it needs, and there's a very expansive energy coming from this with the sun. There is increased optimism, vitality, life force energy. For some of you, your solar plexus, goodness, I sounded so Northern Irish. I am so sorry. Your solar plexus is getting a boost of energy where you have more confidence, you have more life force, you have more energy, you have more vitality, you're feeling good, you're looking good. And a lot of this is to do with the Taurus energy being in your 11th house. And it's also for many of you to do with Jupiter moving into Pisces. You're getting this optimism back, because when it's in a fellow water sign, Cancer, it means that you have more luck, because it could be touching your sun, particularly if you are someone who has, or someone who is an early degree Cancer, meaning you're right on the cusp, 21st, 22nd, a solstice baby. And for a lot of you, you're going to be experiencing great blessings with this. And even if you're not a June-born Cancer per se, you're going to be experiencing this on a social level, because Jupiter is a very socially based planet. It dictates our trends, our themes, and it, in essence, kind of dictates how everyone feels in terms of optimism. And when it's in a water sign, this harmonizes with your outlook on life. So with Pisces energy, a lot of you, especially with the sun, are going to be finding that you could be traveling at this time, Cancer. You could be traveling, you could be planning a holiday, is indicated for some of you, especially if it's one you've been saving for, or it's a travel plan that's been in the fray. With the Eight of Pentacles as a challenge, it's possible, Cancer, for many of you, with so much transiting the 8th house, that you've been unable to engage in enough solo projects, or you've been in a lot of consideration about how your actions or your money and things affect other people. One of the things that's going to be another benefit for you with Jupiter changing signs is that if you need to study, if you need to get an education, if you need to learn a new skill set, a new trade, something like this, that energy is going to improve with you as well. So if that's not been going well, if your money has been so tied up with other people, if you've lost a bit of a passion for your craft or your work, there's going to be a boost coming for you, and it's to do with slower moving energy. So this could be a boost in your career, your craft, your hobbies that really works for you. Something that really makes you feel bright, excited, happy. But what I'm seeing for you, Cancer, is a general boost in energy. So let's clarify the sun and see what we get for you. Especially if some of you have lost. Wow, and underneath the 10 of Cups too, the Judgment card. I love that. Judgment is all about renewal, regeneration. And this actually makes a lot of sense, because we had so much energy with Jupiter and Saturn, and then we had, back in February, the Sun, Mercury retrograde, all this different activity going on in your 8th house, which is to do with regeneration. But now you're actually feeling lighter for it, because when we're in the midst of anything 8th house related, sometimes it can just feel a bit heavy or a bit dark or a bit painful, because growth is painful. But then you see the blossom, right? When a tree is growing, the growth of the tree takes time. And then all of a sudden it's blooming with these beautiful blossoms, cherry blossoms, or whatever this is, because we can see with the 7 of Pentacles here, this tree is now bearing fruit. And I think for a lot of you, especially if you've been looking for, I don't know if it's maybe a sign from the universe, or you've been looking for something to just work, or something to show promise, or something to show like a sign that you're on the right path, or that something's meant to be, especially if you've been working very hard on something. I think a lot of you have just wanted a sign, and I think a lot of you have just wanted people to have faith in you. For some reason, I get this impression, Cancer, that some of you just haven't felt that way. You haven't felt as though anybody really believes in you, and it might be that you haven't believed in yourself for a while. It might just be that your identity at the moment is wrapped up in financial things, or wrapped up with other people financially, or wrapped up with determining what makes you worthy or what your purpose is. And I think for a lot of you, what I love about the Sun with Judgment is that it's kind of as though it's kind of as though you get a real sense of clarity and this regeneration of energy, where you just feel your energy go up. You just feel that you make sense again, that you're excited to create, you're excited to take the next steps in your future, and you're not so preoccupied with getting it wrong. For a lot of people, I feel as though you've been kind of stilted, like kind of stuck for fear of doing the wrong thing. Now, for a lot of you, for sure, there's activity with an earth sign that looks really very promising in terms of growth, especially with this 10 of Cups underneath. The Strength card underneath that. Maybe for some of you, it's a Leo. Maybe for some of you, you've been in a caring, supportive role. Queen of Swords. For some of you, it's an air sign, an Aquarius, a Libra, a Gemini. But I do feel for a lot of Cancerians, there could be earth sign activity. Earth signs and Leos are really coming up for you. But I do feel for a lot of you that have had issues with your health, for some reason, with the eclipse coming up in your 6th house and it being in contrast with your 12th house, because we're moving into a 12th house season. I do feel for a lot of you, you're going to have some healing. You know, it's almost like it's a time for you to heal, to regenerate, to see the fruits of the work you've been doing. Maybe you've been eating better. Maybe you've been drinking more water. Maybe you have been researching something. And I think a lot of you have been researching something or working on something and looking for answers. For others of you, if you've been applying to jobs or courses or something that is to do with your career, your education, or to do with money, if you've been applying to this and getting nowhere, you're about to see why. And it's good. It's because you've been waiting for something specific that's to do with your destiny. It's kind of funny. I think destiny has this way of distracting you before it happens. Do you know what I mean? It's almost as if when you're really focused on something else, destiny appears, but when you're really focused on getting to your destiny or getting a result, a lot of the time it just seems to slip away from you. And that's kind of a theme with Pisces energy, as we see Jupiter moving into Pisces. The more you try to hold on to that fish, it just slips out. You know what I mean? It's kind of like relaxing and going with the flow just seems to let things take off. And I do see with the Sun and Judgment, you're about to get this blast of energy that feels really good, that feels healing, that feels regenerative. You've energy, you've vitality, you spend time with your family, your loved ones, your work life improves. For a lot of you as well with the Sun and Judgment, because we're moving into a very 12th house oriented season, the obviousness of this may not be obvious at all. It may be happening on a surface level, below the surface level. It might be intuitive, it might be healing. With the Sun and Judgment, you're shining a light on your 12th house. You're shining a light on what is hidden within you that needs to be healed. And whatever it is that needs to be healed internally, psychologically, subconsciously, benefits your health, it benefits your work. So for a lot of you that have been out of work or looking for work, or you found work challenging, you've been finding it hard to align with your purpose or your destiny or get clarity, the more inner work you do, the more healing you do, the easier it will be to align. Because when you realize that the outside world is really not matching you, or it doesn't feel right, it's because something's not right within. And you need to have a little bit of a moment with it, lean into that. Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel this level of rejection for this thing? Is it maybe a build-up over the years of something else? I don't know if you can see that it's gone really dark, but the skies have gone so grey. It is about to bucket out of the sky. But what else would we expect in May in this side of the world? At least it's getting sunny for you, the Sun card. So I really love this reading, Cancer. If you want to check out the extended version of this, it's about 20 minutes long. It goes into the different zodiac signs you could be dealing with. It's more in depth. It brings in more astrology, that type of thing. It's kind of what supports the channel at the moment. So if you're interested in that, it's linked below. And if not, I will see you in the next set of readings. Take care, Cancer. Bye-bye.